Have you ever woken up and felt different? Like something in your brain just clicked? I remember that morning. I opened my eyes. The sun was coming through my window. And then I heard it. A voice in my head. But this voice, it wasn't speaking my native language. It was speaking English. Not translating, not thinking in my language first and then changing to English. Just English. Pure English. Natural English. After 3 years of studying, 3 years of trying, 3 years of feeling stuck, finally, my mind switched. And I want to tell you about that day, because maybe you're waiting for your day too. Let me show you how it happened. Welcome back to Artificial Fluency English Stories. I'm so glad you're here. If you're new, this channel helps you master English naturally through beautiful stories. Every story is carefully crafted for your level, so you can improve your listening, vocabulary, and fluency without feeling like you're studying. This is an A2 B1 story, perfect for learners who understand basic English and want to reach the next level naturally. If you want more stories like this every day, please subscribe and turn on notifications. Your support helps me create more content for learners like you. Now, let me tell you my story. My name is Sarah. I'm 27 years old. I live in a small city. I work in an office. English is not my first language, but I've always wanted to speak it fluently. For 3 years I studied English, every day, every night. I took classes. I watched movies with subtitles. I listened to podcasts. I read books. I learned grammar rules. I memorized vocabulary lists. I practiced conversations. But there was always a wall. An invisible wall between my brain and English. When someone spoke to me in English, this is what happened in my mind. First, I heard the English words. Then, my brain translated them to my language. Then, I understood. Then I thought of an answer in my language. Then I translated my answer to English. Then, finally, I spoke. This process took time, too much time. Sometimes when I spoke, people looked confused. They didn't understand me. My words were correct, but they sounded wrong, unnatural. At night, I felt frustrated, tired. Sometimes I cried. Why can't I just think in English? I asked myself. Why do I always need to translate? I felt like I was trapped, like I would never be fluent, never be natural, never really speak English. But I didn't give up. I couldn't give up, because English wasn't just a language for me. It was a dream, a door to a bigger world, a key to a better future. So I kept trying, even when it was hard, even when I wanted to quit. And then, one morning, everything changed. It was a Tuesday morning, October 15th. I remember the date because that was the day my life changed. I woke up at 6:30 a.m., like always. I opened my eyes. I looked at the ceiling. The sun was coming through the curtains. Everything looked normal. But inside my head, something was different. Usually, when I wake up, my first thoughts are in my native language. My brain starts planning the day, thinking about work, thinking about what to eat for breakfast. But that morning, I opened my eyes and thought, I need to get ready for work. In English, not translated, just English. I sat up in bed. I felt confused. Did that really happen? Did I just think in English? I shook my head. No, I thought. I must be imagining it. I got out of bed. I walked to the bathroom. I looked in the mirror, and in my head, I heard, "You look tired today." In English. Again. My heart started beating faster. This wasn't normal. This had never happened before. I brushed my teeth, and while I was brushing, thoughts kept coming. Natural thoughts, easy thoughts. The toothpaste tastes like mint. I should buy more shampoo. What should I wear today? All in English, without trying, without translating. I felt scared, but also excited, very excited. Was this real? Was my brain actually thinking in English now? I went to the kitchen. I made coffee, and while the coffee was brewing, I realized something amazing. I could hear English in my head, like a radio playing, like a voice talking to me. But it wasn't someone else's voice. It was my voice, my thoughts, just in English. I took my phone. I opened my messages. My friend Emma had sent me a text. "Good morning. How are you feeling today?" Usually, when I read English messages, I translate them in my head first. But this time, I just understood immediately, naturally. And when I replied, I didn't think about grammar. I didn't think about word order. I just wrote. I'm feeling great. Something strange happened this morning. The words came easily, like they were always there, waiting. I went to work. On the bus, I looked out the window, and in my head, I was describing everything I saw. That building is very tall. The trees are turning orange. It's autumn. That woman is wearing a beautiful coat. All in English, automatic English, natural English. When I arrived at my office, my colleague David said, "Good morning, Sarah." And I replied, without thinking, without translating, "Good morning, how was your weekend?" David smiled. "It was great, I went hiking." And we had a whole conversation, a real, natural conversation. But here's what was different. I wasn't thinking about the conversation. I was just having it. The words came, the sentences formed, the ideas flowed. It felt like I was floating, like my brain had found a secret door, and suddenly everything was easy. At lunch, I sat alone in the cafeteria. I needed to understand what was happening to me. I took out my notebook. I started writing in English. Today, something incredible happened. My brain is thinking in English. I don't know why, I don't know how, but it's real. It's happening. As I wrote, more ideas came, more sentences, more words, and they all came in English, not translated, just there. I felt tears in my eyes, happy tears. For 3 years, I had been climbing a mountain, a hard, steep mountain. Sometimes I climbed, sometimes I fell, but I never stopped. And now I had reached the top. I could see the view. I could feel the wind. I had made it. I hope you're enjoying this story so far. If you are, please take a moment to like this video and leave a comment telling me what you think. It really helps me know what stories to create for you next. Let's continue. That afternoon at work, emotional depth. That afternoon at work, I couldn't focus. I kept testing myself, testing this new ability. I would look at my computer screen and describe what I saw in English. There are 23 unread emails. Most of them are not important. I need to finish the report by Friday. I would listen to my colleagues talking and understand them, not by translating, just by understanding. It was like I had been wearing heavy shoes my whole life, and suddenly someone took them off. And now I could run, I could dance, I could fly. After work, I called my English teacher. Her name is Lisa. "Lisa," I said, excited, "something happened to me today." "What happened?" she asked. "I'm thinking in English, really thinking. My brain just switched." Lisa laughed, a happy laugh. "Sarah," she said, "I've been waiting for you to tell me this." "What do you mean?" I asked. "This happens to every language learner," she explained. "We call it the switch. Your brain finally stopped translating. It made English automatic." "But why did it happen today?" I asked. "What changed?" Lisa was quiet for a moment. Then she said something important, something I will never forget. "Sarah, you've been filling a cup with water for 3 years. Every day you added more water, drop by drop, word by word, sentence by sentence. And today, the cup became full. The water overflowed. That's all." I understood. All those hours studying, all those words I learned, all those conversations I had, they weren't wasted. They were building something, building a bridge, building a connection in my brain. And today, the bridge was complete. That evening I went home. I made dinner. And while I was cooking, I started talking to myself out loud in English. "Okay, first I need to cut the onions. Then I'll heat the oil. The recipe says to cook for 20 minutes. My voice sounded different, more confident, more natural. I realized I wasn't afraid anymore. Afraid of making mistakes, afraid of sounding stupid, afraid of being wrong. Because now English didn't feel foreign. It felt like mine. After dinner, I did something I had never done before. I sat on my sofa. I closed my eyes, and I started thinking. Just thinking about my day, about my life, about my dreams. And all my thoughts were in English. Not some of them, all of them. It was like my brain had learned a new way to think, a new mode, and it didn't want to go back. I opened my laptop. I wanted to write about this feeling, so I started writing.
Now 3 months have passed since that day. And yes, my brain still thinks in English. Not every second, not perfectly. Sometimes when I'm very tired or very stressed, I go back to my native language. But most of the time, English is there, natural, easy, flowing. I can have conversations without fear. I can watch movies without subtitles. I can read books and understand them the first time. But more importantly, I understand something about learning now. Learning a language isn't about being smart. It isn't about having talent. It isn't about being young or old. It's about patience. It's about trust. It's about showing up every day, even when you can't see progress. Because progress is happening, always, even when you can't feel it. Your brain is working, making connections, building bridges, creating new pathways. And one day, the switch will flip. The light will turn on. The door will open. And when it does, you'll remember this story. You'll remember Sarah, the girl who waited 3 years. And you'll smile, because now it's your turn. The other day, my friend Anna asked me, "Sarah, how did you become fluent in English? What's your secret?" I thought about her question. What could I tell her? Should I talk about grammar books, vocabulary apps, English classes? No, because those things helped, but they weren't the secret. The secret was this: I never stopped believing. Even on the hard days, even when I felt stupid, even when I wanted to quit, I believed that one day my brain would understand. One day English would feel natural. One day I would think without translating. And I was right. So I told Anna, there's no magic trick. There's no shortcut. There's only practice and patience and faith. She looked a little disappointed. I think she wanted an easier answer. But that's the truth, the real truth. Language learning is a journey, a long journey, and you can't skip the journey. But I promise you, the destination is worth it. Because when you arrive, when your mind finally switches, you don't just learn a language. You become someone new, someone braver, someone stronger, someone who knows they can do hard things. And that feeling is everything.
And that's how I discovered that my mind could think in English, that my brain could change, that I could become fluent. Maybe you've felt this way too. Maybe you're waiting for your switch day. Maybe you've been studying for months or years, and you still feel stuck. Still feel like you're translating. Still feel like you'll never be natural. I want to tell you something important. Your switch day is coming. Maybe tomorrow? Maybe next month? Maybe next year? But it's coming. As long as you keep going. As long as you don't give up. Every word you learn, every sentence you read, every story you listen to, they're all adding water to your cup, drop by drop, and one day the cup will overflow. One day you'll wake up and English will be there, in your mind, natural, easy, yours. And on that day, you'll remember this story. You'll remember that you weren't alone, that someone else walked this path before you. And you'll know you did it. Remember, you're not learning English.
you're becoming someone who speaks English, and that person is already inside you, waiting. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening to this story. I'll see you in the next one.
Don't forget to subscribe for daily English stories that help you learn naturally and inspire you to keep going. Like this video if Sarah's story gave you hope. And comment below, how long have you been learning English? I read every single comment, and I'd love to hear your story. See you tomorrow with another story. Until then, keep believing. Your switch day is coming.